Your important files are encrypted. Many of your documents, photos, videos, databases, and other files are no longer accessible because they have been encrypted. Maybe you are busy looking for a way to recover your files, but do not waste your time. Nobody can recover your files without our decryption service.
Good afternoon, everybody out in Facebook land. I'm here with Todd as a Service once again, so we can talk to you about the cost of ransomware on your business. We've been really focusing on ransomware over the last couple of weeks. We're going to continue to focus on that until the end of the month. But one of the things that we're going to talk about today is what does it cost your business? What does it cost kind of the economy in general or the American public? And why is it something you need to worry about? So
that was a little scary.
It was a little freaky.
Dim lights, creepy sound voice.
One thing we forgot to do today?
What?
We forgot to say, Alexa, bring me your box, so that way we could talk about the Amazon
box.
Echo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gave you the box.
Alexa, bring me a creepy sounding guy on my ransomware.
So everybody out in Facebook land, don't forget, comment, and share this Facebook video. And what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a drawing at the end of the month for a free Amazon Echo. If you call us up for a free network assessment, mention our Facebook Live video, or comment on our Facebook Live video, and let us know you want us to come out. Send us a message on Facebook, and we're going to go ahead and enter you in for 5 free entries into that drawing.
Five. So that's
1, 2, 3. Well, 4. You have 4 fingers and a thumb, so
5.
Yeah,
5. Plus, you get if you comment, right? Comment, share.
Yeah, and you get an entry.
So
you're excluded.
I can't enter.
You cannot enter. No.
All right.
Todd already asked us to do a network assessment here at Data Tech and submitted his name for it. But,
I did. I thought I was going to have 5 entries. So I kind of want to explain real quick. We're doing some upgrades to our data center, so there might be some background noise. Once in a while, we put in some new air handlers and compressors in our data center, and they're finishing up our stairs to get up there.
Yeah, there was actually a Facebook video a couple weeks back of that. So if you go on our on our Facebook page and look under the videos tab, you'll be able to see that there.
Right.
We also put it up on YouTube, I think, too.
We did.
So by all means, and then we do have an open house coming up. You may have gotten an invitation to that.
Open house is great.
Yeah.
September 26th, 4 to 8 p.m.
Yep.
We're going to have some drinks, hors d'oeuvres, and some people to tell you about how to protect yourself.
And you'll see our data center.
That's right.
Yeah,
Beautiful
data
center.
See all the improvements we're making to it. So
That's right.
Really, I think for us, the most important part about our data center, it's cool, on our side because we like technology, but it's also our commitment to our customers.
It is.
The air handler improvements we've made in there, the continued improvements we're making in the infrastructure in there as well. It's all a matter of bringing the technology that you need as a client to your business, so that even as a small or medium-sized company, you're not restricted in your ability to grow or scale or have technology that meets your business requirements.
And it's impressive.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Yeah, it definitely does. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about what ransomware costs. We have these screens up here behind us. We'll go ahead probably this week, and I'm sure that Todd will probably share these out screen by screen here and there throughout the week, so you can see them on our Facebook page. But one of the things that we really think is important for people to understand is what it actually does truly cost. It's all over the news. We hear about cities that get held ransom. We hear about large companies. We hear about data breaches, and we think it doesn't really apply to us, but we don't know what it really costs. We just know that it seems like it's something really scary. So,
and it is scary, and I think people always have that mindset of it's not going to happen to me. But We've had a lot of customers that come to us and become customers because they've got hit with ransomware.
Right. And so one of the things we'll do as we go through this is we're going to kind of talk about what does it cost real quick as far as in relation to what and understand the real world. We'll talk about what the median costs are associated with the ransomware attack, and then we'll talk about kind of some quick facts about ransomware too. So I'll just go ahead and lead it off. Reality at the end of the day, the cost of ransomware to U.S. businesses. This is across organizations that are 100+ user organizations. So I do know some of ours are smaller, but we'll just look at 100+ user organizations as a whole. The cost to U.S. businesses is $18.6 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, that's huge.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, and if you want to put that in perspective, the GDP of Jamaica is $14 billion.
Right.
So we exceed the GDP of Jamaica in ransomware. And that's something that really is important to kind of pay attention to. Out of the 100 plus user organizations in the U.S., there's 129,000 user organizations that are over 100. That's U.S. Census data. The percentage that were hit by ransomware in the last year, according to respondents in the survey, were 60%.
60%.
Yep, 60% were hit.
Wow.
In some way, shape, or form. It could be small, isolated to 1 or 2 users. It could be across the entire organization.
That's a huge number also.
That
60%.
is. Yeah, that is. The average number of ransomware attacks per organization, this is important, per organization, the average number was 2. And so if you think about that, why is a company or an organization hit twice in 1 year? It's because once they're hit that first time, or once you are hit the first time with ransomware and you pay that ransom, they're going to come back and try and hit you a second time.
Well, yeah, you paid me once,
you're
paid me twice. Give me my money.
Yep, exactly. So a couple other interesting facts. Ransomware, the median cost to recover from a ransomware attack, $133,000 to recover.
Now, James, how many, realistically, how many small to medium-sized business can really pay that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Recover from
So
that.
here's what's the cool thing. So, it's not cool, but it's from a numbers perspective, it's just, crazy. $133,000 is the average attack.
Right.
Cost. And that includes downtime, work, device costs, network, lost opportunities, your ransom payment, everything all rolled into one. And you may look at that and say, okay, that's there. I don't think I'm going to get hit for 133,000. Well, you're not. You may get hit for 30, 35,000 for your data. It's all the other stuff you lose in the residual.
Sure.
But there's another survey, and we don't have this here, and I'll get it over to Todd so he can share it. There's another survey that actually shows how many businesses fail when they get hit with ransomware. So you have 60% of small businesses within the first 6 months of getting hit by a ransomware attack. Or I'm sorry, about 20 to 25% fail within 30 days of getting hit.
Right away.
60% of businesses fail within 6 months to a year following a ransomware attack. They just can't recover. And you think about the business impact on your operations, right? So you have cash flow issues, and because now you can't actually perform for your business. You have network outages. You've got to actually replace equipment. You've got to get stuff reconfigured, get back up and running. There's a cost associated with that.
Right.
You are going to, I'm assuming that you may have cyber risk insurance that might cover as part of this, but you still have to wait for that payout to come back to you. So in the meantime, you're out of pocket all that money. Which is your cash flow.
Right.
And then it's all dependent on your cyber risk insurance. Once you actually submit that claim, what if you, out of your equipment, what actually was nailed by ransomware, and what was the actual point where the ransomware made it into your network versus what equipment you should have addressed already previously in the future as an operating expense, and that comes up when we do insurance.
I'm just guessing here, but realistically, how many small to medium businesses have cybersecurity insurance?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know that a lot of them even think of that.
Right.
To have that. Right?
Yeah, I don't think it really comes across as something that you truly do need until something happens to you, or maybe you do have it and you say, hey, you know what, I'm probably never going to use it, and then you actually do have to use it, and you're saying, oh wow, I should have addressed maybe the front end of this, the IT infrastructure side, before it got to this point. And that's kind of where I think there may be a disconnect that we as data tech really want to work with our clients or with people that come to us and say, okay, you know what, let's get you to a point where we don't. Yes, you're still going to need to carry risk insurance,
right? Just
because it's a best practice. Something could happen. It could be 0 day. We're going to do everything we can to protect you. We're going to put the best tools out there. But the one thing we can't do is we can't get in on the human intervention side. And that's where a lot of the ransomware comes from.
Absolutely. In fact,
employees and things like that.
I posted an article today that really shocked me. And it was, I know that people have company-owned devices, say it's a tablet. Mm-hmm. And, you're doing other things, you take it home, you're doing other things, and your kid wants to play on your tablet.
Right.
You think it's harmless.
Right.
So you give them your tablet to play on. Well, the article I posted today was about Fortnite. Every kid plays Fortnite.
Right.
Well, hackers know this. And so they now are deploying, cheat codes. Hey, download this cheat code. Yeah. Well, the kid downloads the cheat code onto the
your company-owned device that you let your kid play.
Correct.
Probably in a restaurant or in the car because you just didn't want to have they were busy and they needed to be sidetracked or something, or.
And so then it lays dormant in that
Right.
device until they want to deploy it, and then they deploy it. So, I mean, it's those numbers are so huge that, we really need to think of this as hackers. This is big business.
Right.
This is their livelihood.
Right.
And so they're constantly trying to find ways to go ahead and deploy,
Right.
something to cripple you or give you ransomware.
Yeah. And I think, here's the quick facts on it, right? 48% of ransomware victims actually pay the ransom. They, most in a lot of those cases, they don't have a choice. Maybe you don't have isolated backups. I know we do isolated backups for our clients. Maybe you don't have a good firewall solution in place with good endpoint security, and you have to pay that ransom.
Let's touch on that just for a second. When you say isolated backups, if most I believe most small to medium businesses, hey, I run backups at the office. I have a backup, but really when they do a deployment, right?
Yep.
The first thing they look for is those backups.
Yeah. And
right?
Next week we'll talk about our solution stack,
right?
And talk about why we implement what we do, and really kind of go through the isolated backups and talk about why it is isolated. Because isolated is important. It's great that you have that thumb drive or USB drive, and you go, hey, I back up my computers to this every night,
right?
Or I back up my files on my NAS or something like that,
right?
But at the end of the day, that's the first thing that somebody that makes on your network is going to look for.
I just wanted to point that out. Yeah.
So 48% end up paying. The average payout this is ransomware payout, and this is to keep this in mind when I say this. This is across all industry, all user base sizes, all people that reported that they got hit with ransomware. So this could be as small as like 1 or 2 person office, or maybe even just a personal computer, all the way through to 100 user organizations. The average ransomware payout is $2,500. Now, that sounds really small, but I want you to think about something. When they go out and when somebody goes out and they deploy ransomware, the most important part for the person that actually deploys it is to try and get some form of payment from you. So let's say that they go and they deploy ransomware and they're blanketing out and they just send out 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 emails all at once. And they hope you click on it, they hope you open it, and they hope that ransomware gets deployed. They don't know who that's going to. So You may not be a high value target in their eyes, but you're still a target because they're making $2,500. Let's say that only 25% of those people open them. It's $2,500 times 1,000 people if they send it to 5,000.
Right.
That's huge.
I don't want to pay $2,500.
Right. And so then it's like, okay, well now that guy's walking out with $250,000 for sending an email. So $2,500 average ransomware payout. The number's skewed, so don't think it's that low. It's just that ends up being the average when we look at all of that user base.
Right.
The percentage of victims who never get their decryption keys, they pay and they still never get the decryption keys, are 30%. I just want to throw this out there for you. A thief's a thief. That's always like the saying, right? Yeah. So if somebody deploys ransomware in your network, I don't really know if there's honor amongst thieves in regards to those.
I don't think there is.
So, they're putting ransomware in your network. Whether you pay them or not, it's kind of a 50-50 on whether or not they're going to give you the keys. Is there any benefit to them giving you the key? I mean, yes, there is, because you'll be known as, hey, we need to keep paying them, so they'll give us the keys. But they don't have to make them work. They can say, here's the keys. Good luck.
Yeah. Oh well.
Right. So.
Well, let's just elaborate on that too, because of the ransomware as a service.
Yep.
So there are people selling ransomware to other people.
Yep.
With keys. They deploy that. It could or could not work, those keys, right? I mean, Right.
And then the last part of this that I'll kind of throw out there is actually 2 numbers. 72% of the victims that are actually hit with ransomware aren't able to access their data for 2+ days. So if you get hit with ransomware, the reality, if you don't have a good solid security solution and backup solution in place, is that you're probably going to be part of that 72%. You realistically are going to be down for at least 2 days.
Oh, that's crippling. I mean, that'll cripple your business.
Right. And then out of that, 58% of the organizations that were actually surveyed actually said that users were the source of the infection. So when I went back and I talked about we can't control the end user, that's the reality. There's a human element. It doesn't matter. I mean, we can cover that other 42% with security solutions.
Right.
58% though, we can't cover. Now, how do we take care of that 58%? We do it through a good, solid backup plan on our side. have a good, solid backup plan with independent backups. The 42% is going to cover the your firewall solution, endpoint security, all that's going to cover that. Your 58% is going to be covered by the remainder of your backup solution, your endpoint security once those users start interacting with things they shouldn't.
Right.
And that's really what it comes down to. I mean, there's a reason that cybersecurity training is so prevalent.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So the very last thing that I will leave you with, I think I might have it here, just to kind of throw this out there for you. 26% of the malware that actually comes into your network is delivered via weaponized Office documents. So they're hiding it in plain sight. They send it to you, they hide it in plain sight, and if you don't have a solution out there that's taking care of you, then that's what you're left.
It's not going to find it. It's going to go right through.
Right.
Wow.
So I think that concludes our quick little recap on quick facts. I know we threw a bunch of numbers at you. Most important was that we want to talk about numbers and cost. We'll get this out on our Facebook page so that way we can share it out probably throughout the week and people can see stuff periodically. Like, share, or comment on this video. Like, share, and comment on this video to be entered into a drawing for that free Echo Dot. We're like 2 weeks away from that drawing.
Yep. Yeah, we are.
Yep. We look
Network assessment.
Network assessment, 5 free entries.
5.
You do a network assessment, then we will also sit down with you. We'll talk to you about your security position. We'll talk to you about things that you can do to improve it. We'll really
it's free.
Yeah, it's free. It's
network
free.
Assessment's free.
Yeah, we don't charge you to come on site and do that. We'll come out, we'll do a network assessment on site. We'll evaluate what you have going on in your infrastructure. We'll make our recommendations to you.
It's going to tell me where I have holes in my security?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for joining us today. And hopefully I saw some gray clouds, so hopefully it doesn't rain this afternoon, but we'll find out because it'd be nice to have a day with no rain because I know we're turning to the swamps.
It's Florida. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. See you next week.
Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.
Bye.